sport and athlete-specific training program design. So we're going to go over our client information, physiological training priorities, program design. I got a client here that's going to help me demonstrate some of the movements, and we'll go from there. So first, our some client information here. Her name's Tina. She's a former lacrosse player. She's 26 years old. She's slightly older, probably than the typical team average. 5 years ago, she had an ACL tear, and she's reconstructed it. She's worked as a physiotherapist for the past 5 years, so she has a good idea of where she's at by now, I think, through her own experience. And she wants to get back into playing lacrosse at NCAA college level. And she needs to get back into training, so we're here to help get a training program developed here over the next 18 or so weeks to bring her to that level that she needs to be at for training camp. So we want to make the most of her opportunity here and get her ready for that camp in 4 or 5 weeks, or months. All right, lacrosse. So lacrosse, sport, physiological priorities of it. It's very physically demanding. It's played on a field about the size of a hockey arena. It's often played indoors in a hockey arena. They roll the turf. It's very aggressive. Combines elements of many other sports such as football, basketball, soccer in terms of speed, agility work, very high tempo, very athletic, needs to be a high level of athleticism. So and as skill, sports skill as well, such as being able to cradle your basket, pass the ball, fend others off. And as I mentioned, athletes must be very strong, quick, well-conditioned. So again, you need to have all training disciplines trained, not just strong, not just powerful. You need to have everything well-rounded, compete at a high level. All right, and for the sport, the key physical attributes that I believe are most necessary for the sport is overall body power and being able to use your power efficiently. So that means your explosiveness, getting to a ball from here to 10 yards away. That means 3 yards in, very explosive movements. It means fending off opponents with your upper body. So it's very, very hugely important for the sport, I believe. And as you get a higher level of play, these are more necessary to develop and use. Injuries analysis here. So obviously with the sport of nature, it's very aggressive. Lots of stick swinging, hitting. It's very physical. So you're going to get cuts, bruises, strains, concussions, even broken bones. Like, it's very similar to hockey or football that way in terms of physical injuries. And if we look closer at our client here, Tina, as I mentioned, she's 26 years old, suffered a serious knee injury 5 years ago. She's returning to college to complete her master's program. She's been doing regular physiotherapy, and she wants to get back into lacrosse. So the previous knee issue shouldn't be a problem, assuming we get the training program and everything set up for her. She's 6 years older than team average, so she's a little older. So she maybe has more experience, maturity, but maybe not quite the physical readiness yet of the younger players who have been playing and training. Now if we look at our fitness evaluations here, Tina's versus the team average, we can see she's slightly taller, her weight's higher, so she's bigger than team average. Body fat's a little higher. What she does well is she's quite physically strong, strength-wise, so she has a high 1 rep back squat and good leg strength endurance, well above the team average for the endurance reps, which was 27. she completed 27, the team average is 20. But we can see by the red numbers here where she kind of lacks, what areas. So we can see clearly it's her power and her aerobic, anaerobic conditioning. So we can see in the vertical jump, it's quite apparent that she needs far more power development, as well as with the VO2 max, peak power, and wind gauge, which is well behind the team standard in those. So that's why I say power, I think, will really benefit her the most, as well as aerobic conditioning. So she's not going to fatigue as fast as other players, or she will fatigue as fast, but we have to get to the level where she won't. So yeah, again, highlighting red is where she's a little below team average. Again, training priorities. These are what I believe, as I mentioned earlier, what she really needs: maximal power. Huge, hugely important sport. So she is taller, heavier than the other athletes, which is fine, but it's of no use if she can't apply it properly, right? So we want to keep her size and strength up, but get that power to weight, body weight ratio far higher, so she can keep up with the smaller, quicker players right now. Aerobic conditioning, VO2 in 1 mile. Again, she was slightly behind the team average. So we want to bring that up to a higher level, because she's just going to reach her AT, anaerobic threshold, much faster than the others. And once you get tired physically, you can't hold it together playing a sport that has such high sport-specific movements that are very technical. And as I mentioned earlier, lower body strength, she's quite a bit above team average in that, in terms of the max squat endurance as well as the max squat. She's up. Her upper body too is right on par, so it's not far ahead or far behind either way in terms of push-ups and bench press. So she's quite strong, just need to work on the power and conditioning. So now we'll get into our training cycle that I put together here. So here's your 18-week macro cycle. So over 18 weeks, pretty long term, but it's a good plan here. So we can see she starts off with resistance training and aerobic training, quite heavy here, especially aerobic. So for the first 8 weeks, Thursday and Sunday are going to be her off days. So she's going to rest on those days and train 5 days. So the aerobic training takes place 3 days a week to start. And as mentioned in our article, right, aerobic training is developed quickly and then plateaus. So we're going to hit it hard for the first 4 weeks, 3 days a week. And once she has a strong base developed, then we can bring the volume of that training discipline down and implement more intense anaerobic speed development. So that's the theory behind the heavy aerobic off the start, build up the base, then bring it back down. Resistance training is twice a week, Tuesdays, Saturdays. That'll just condition her body, get her work capacity up again, prepare her for more intense programs as we progress towards the end of the training macro cycle. And in later weeks, from 9 on, we start bringing in more speed work to develop again that quick explosiveness. And then from weeks 13 on, max power, back off the aerobic work because it's already developed a base, back off the aerobic, start bringing more anaerobic max power and speed development to help increase that power. So as far as our aerobic training details go, here's for the, you can see it's all laid out week by week. Then start at our acute variables intensity, 45 to 90% of our heart rate reserve. This can be done 3 to 5 days a week, 20 to 60 minutes each time. So you can see we start at about 60% intensity. We build up in intensity and in time on certain days. So that obviously, just like resistance training is intensity and volumes inversely proportionate, right? So higher volume, bring down the intensity, higher intensity, bring up the time. So there's the 3 days a week there. As seen here as well, 17 to 18 weeks on all programs are the unload week. So we want to bring that volume down a little bit there. Anaerobic training. So this starts on week 5. Can be done 1 to 3 days a week, 15 to 20-second bursts of work, 3 sets, 4 reps on each. So again, we build up the intensity to a high level right before camp. Last 2 weeks, unload, taper, bring it back down to make sure she's not fatigued, tired going into camp. And our speed here, bring this in week 9. So this is can be done 2 to 3 days a week. We're just going to be doing it once a week because we're going to be doing so much of the other training as well, the resistance training, max power. So just 1 day a week. And work to rest ratios, you kind of build it around the client, see where they're at there. We're starting with 10-yard sprints, so very explosive. Quick 10-yard sprint, 4-minute rest. And then we, again, taper up to a 40-yard dash. Keep the rest times at about 4 minutes. And then cut the volume last 2 weeks down to a 20-yard. And our resistance training program here, what I put together was every 4 weeks we adjust the cube training variables. So our sets, they're going to range from 3 to 6 sets, reps 5 to 15, intensity 65 to 85% of our 1 rep max, and our rest is going to vary from 60 seconds to 120 seconds. So weeks 1 through 4, like I said, this is kind of our conditioning general prep phase. So we got our reps high at 15, 3 sets, 60 seconds rest, just a full body program. This is going to keep condition again her muscles, get her work capacity up, and not burn her out nervous system wise for like following programs. So we start with lightweight, high reps, and then every 4 weeks we start dropping the reps, increasing the intensity of the weight, bringing the sets back up. So weeks 4 to 8, we drop the reps down to 10, sets come up to 4, rest periods here stay at 60. And then weeks 8 to 12, drop the reps to 8. So again, higher intensity, going to be using more, developing more of the nervous system, dropping the reps down before camp, not beating her up muscular-wise, and she's going to be at her highest level in terms of strength, ideally right before camp. So again, sets come up to 5 sets. Longer rest periods allow for the heavier weight nervous system recovery. And then finally, weeks 12 to 16, 5 reps, again lower, 6 sets, sets come up again, 120-second rest. So she's going to be handling some pretty heavy weight for her here, probably in about 85 to 90, 95% range of her 1 rep max for 5 reps. So longer rest times. And finally here, last 2 weeks, we unload the athlete. So we cut down our reps, stay at 5, so intensity stays high right before camp. Sets cut in half down to 3. So very important to taper them down, especially with that much work volume over a week. Very important to taper them down so they're not tired going into camp. So sets are cut in half from 6 to 3. Rest periods stay high. Intensity, reps stay low. Intensity's high, reps low. So with that, I'm going to get my client here, Marshall. He's going to come in here and help me demonstrate the program. So first exercise here, I guess I should say too as well, here's Marshall, who's a client. He's going to help me demonstrate. As seen in our article, we most muscular tissue and highest activation is seen when we pair agonist-antagonist muscle groups. So our program here is paired with a push-pull lower, push-pull upper, push-pull for the arms. So back squat, training our quads, glutes, right? Then we go into lying leg curl, which is going to hit our hamstrings, our posterior side. So again, very, an athlete needs to be ready to work, be able to work with this kind of program. It's not one you might just throw someone into, but if they're at an athletic level, they can handle this. So I'm going to get Marshall here. He's going to help me demonstrate the exercises. So our first exercise here is a back squat. So I'm gonna just grab the barbell here. He has a pretty good idea what he's doing, so I'll help him. Just basically lift this onto his shoulders. So he's gonna grab the bar, feet about shoulder width apart. Good posture here, chest up. Okay, elbows come in under the bar just a little more. Hands in, perfect. So maintaining a nice upright posture. He's just gonna squat down to a full squat position, come up, and we'll get him to do a few reps here. Yeah, up, one more. So as you can see, there's no knee dive, no excessive forward lean, right? He's holding good position through here. Core stable. One more rep, Marshall. Good. Let's get you to do one rep from the side. He's going to turn to his side here. And yeah. And one last rep. Perfect. Bar from you. Alright, and we're just going to tilt the camera here and head over to our lying leg curl machine. So we're going to head over here. Get Marshall to demonstrate some reps. So again, push pull, that's how we're designed the program. So lying leg curl, explosive up, right? So he's going to think of kicking himself in the bum on that fast tempo. Hold that, Marshall. This way you do it. And then he's going to come down on about a 2 to 3 second eccentric, okay? So he's going to come up. Good. Nice and slow down. One more. Explosive up. Control that tempo coming down. One last one. Perfect. Well done. Alright, so there's our lower body, our squat, leg curl. Now we're going to do a little bit of upper body here. So our flat, we're going to flat dumbbell press here. So you can get Marshall here, just lay on the bench. And our dumbbells. Alright, so chest is set, right? Shoulders pulled down. So he's going to come right down. Yeah, feet flat on the floor, hips on the bench. Right down, press straight up. Good. So we're spotting him here at the wrists. Up. Good. One more. Comes right down. Presses up. Perfect. Excellent. Alright, so there, again, we're training our chest, triceps there, so we're pushing. Now again, we're going to pair that with a pull for the upper body. So we're going to have him here on the pull-up bar. So we're going to go close grip chin up. So we're going to go palms facing Marshall. So he's going to come up explosively, about a 2 to 3 second eccentric, get a full stretch, back up, okay? So up, it's a full stretch, and up, good. More. So again, very important on the pull-up. I'm going to retract that scapula, retract those shoulders. Right? Perfect. Good. So yeah, again, you want to retract the shoulders, keep your lats on, pinch your mid back, right? You don't want to get pulling with your shoulders elevated, pulling with your biceps. You'll use your back. Finally, our standing dumbbell curl, bicep curls here. So we're just going to stand there. You can do these in upper weights, hammer curls, fully supinated. We'll just do supinated, okay? So palms up. Stable stance and curl straight up, keeping the elbows at the side. Don't want to swing with your upper body. Just an easy, controlled contraction, then coming down about 2 seconds. So elbows stay at the side here. Yeah, comes up. Good. upper back, or hinging at the torso, or at the waist, sorry. So up. Excellent, good. And finally, our last exercise here, lying tricep extensions on the bench. So this is going to be lying flat. Dumbbells up. This can be done with a bar, easy curl bar, whatever he feels is easiest. He's going to come down, keeping the elbows fixed here. Going to full stretch the triceps up, full extension. Stand. Perfect. Good. So that was our resistance training program. Again, very fairly basic, just basic full body, but effective if tapered properly. All right, our maximum power training program. So this is implemented on later in the week or later in the macro cycle. So weeks 13 to 17 reps. We're at 8 reps here, and then 5 sets again. So our first exercise here is a box jump. All right, I should mention too as well, this program here, the exercises are put together in a way that it's lower, upper, just a lot more recovery because there's such short rest times between exercises. So we're gonna, first exercise here is the box jump. So it drops down explosively, jumps up. And then yeah, so 8 reps there, explosive tempo coming up. So Marshall to demonstrate that. Perfect. One more. Drops down, up, lands controlled, and one last rep here. Perfect. So we can see he's applying power at a rapid pace and controlling on the landing. Next one here is our med ball chest pass. So actually grab that ball there. So we get into your athletic stance kind of, right? Great with a partner, okay? So he's going to pass explosively, right? Back to him. Good. Full extension of the arms. One last one here. Perfect. Good. Next is our, so again, back to our lower body now. Depth drop. Start up on here. So he's going to step off in a controlled manner and drop and just control that. All right? Off. Perfect. One more time. Excellent. Good. And last one here. Med ball slams. So we're back to the upper body. Grab that. So overhead. Drop down. Drop your hips. Palm into it. Get that maximum power. More. Perfect. Good. Alright, so that's our power training program. Alright, and now we can Tina's knee handle all this training? Alright, based on all of our articles, there shouldn't be any issues with the training program. If it's completely healed, then it should be healed up to its original level, assuming she was doing proper physio. So, and she herself will know best. Obviously, being a physiotherapist, assuming it is at the right level. There are different methods in training, such as vibration training for stability and for recovering the knee and whatnot. But as far as getting someone into shape in an X amount of time, we're going to stick to more traditional methods, not get too concerned with vibration training and stuff of that nature, which is obviously not every facility has that. So getting started, weekend summary. It's about, it's again a pretty basic program. We have her for 18 weeks so we can plan out ahead, know exactly what day she's doing what. It's basic program in terms of what she's doing, but it's very aggressive and intense in terms of the volume of work. There's a phase there in the middle of the weeks where she is going to be going 6 days a week, which is a lot of work. As I mentioned, tapering is very important in the final 2 weeks. And I believe with these methods and training priorities, we can bring her to a level that she will excel at the NCAA level. So thanks very much for coming out. Thank you, Marshall, for helping me. And that's a wrap.